Guys, I'm about to meet two legends.
Hey.
Oh, good to meet you, Jordan. It's good to meet you.
What?
It's been too long.
This is so crazy.
This is way cooler than I thought.
What happens when you are off the course and the relationships that you guys have with the other pilots?
Yeah, there's definitely a different dynamic than the flight deck dynamic. And, you know, a lot of times that's us being backstage, you know, just kind of, you see people shaking it off. Everyone's just really kind of getting in their own space, getting ready to go out.
Yeah, I think the closest thing that I could compare it to is they always say, you know, don't bring friends into business. But that's kind of what it feels like out here. We're all out here, you know, this is how we eat on a day-to-day basis. So we're all out here trying to do the best we can. We all want to beat each other so bad. But on the backside of that, we're all so close with friendships and we do anything for each other that it makes this weird feeling where, like, I almost feel good when my friends do bad, and I've never. It's really weird, and I'm not saying that like it's a good thing, you know. It's just a very weird thing that I've never dealt with before in this situation, and it's different. But I mean, nobody's fought in the flight deck yet. We haven't had any fights in the dugout, so I think
one more level.
Yeah, we still have one more to go, but I think it's been a lot of fun this year for sure.
Job, final Amari. The Golden Heat just got crowded. Alex FPV wins level 1. Hey, I gotta say, I'm sorry about this one. I made a mistake and I saw it and it was.
Congratulations to the level 1 Silicon Valley champion, Alex FPV.
I'm Amari,
I'm Alex FPV,
and
this is Mad Props.
Guys, you just made my.
Alex FPV is currently ranked the 3rd best drone pilot in the world, and he has worked exceptionally hard to get to where he is today. He's been flying for most of his life, but his first competition was with the Drone Champions League in 2018. In the same year, with Team Pyro Drone, he would win what's known as Mayhem, Dusk Till Dawn. Mayhem is the Le Mans of drone racing. It's 12 hours straight of drone racing that pushes pilots physically and mentally to see who has the strength to power through.
Oh, it's looking good, you know. Track's really fun. Just working out, smoothing out these pit stops, getting everybody on the same page. I think a little repetition's all we need, and we'll be greased out. But the practice we put in today is showing off right now. You know, everything's going pretty smooth. We're all calm. That's part of one of our biggest priorities for the 12-hour race is staying calm throughout the whole thing, not getting in our feels, you know, getting all excited. Oh my gosh, what's happening? Trying to stay cool, calm, and collected through the bad times, and hopefully it pays off in the end.
Alex would come back in 2020 to hold the title once again with Team Heart of America. It is a wild competition, and to win Mayhem once is extremely impressive for any pilot, but to win twice is an entire other ballgame. Then in 2001, Alex would place second in both the Freedom Spec Championship and the International Open. It's kind of hard to comprehend just how successful Alex's career has been so far.
You're like the Michael Jordan. You're doing baseball. You're doing battle. Michael didn't do that great at baseball though, so that's maybe a little bit insulting to you. But,
hey, I mean, I'm not saying I did the best at one of them either.
Maybe it's a little too apt of a comparison.
Right, maybe it's too accurate.
All of this turned a lot of heads in the drone racing community, and even earned him a spot on the 2022 season of the Drone Racing League. In his rookie year, Alex would shock the world by getting second place to Evan Heads Up Turner, rising above some impressive competition like 2019 world champion Alex Vanover. Amari, on the other hand, got into drone racing because he saw an episode of the Drone Racing League and knew that he had to be a part of it. In 2018, Amari was the multi-GP North Central Regional Champion, and at the 2019 International Open, he ranked 4th and placed 8th at the event. Amari was slowly building a name for himself, and in 2019, he co-founded a drone racing team called Heart of America.
I'm gonna go around like in a couple hours to the actual field and start practice, but when you go hard in the paint like Heart of America, you practice before you practice. That way you can practice while you practice. Been running off of 6 hours of sleep for the last 2 nights combined. I feel like I can't believe we've been up at 4 a.m. this morning. I'm gonna pass out, I need food.
HOA is where Alex and Amari started becoming close friends. But before Alex found himself in the Drone Racing League, Amari was putting in work on the DRL simulator.
I knew that I wanted to be a professional drone racer when I saw my first episode of the Drone Racing League. DRL is interesting because it's an invitation-only league with an exception. Get onto the league through the sim tryouts. I was like 13th my first year, 6th the second year, and I had slowly been creeping up. Something just clicked with me for the 2020 tryouts, and I knew before they had even announced tryouts that this was going to be my year. I went into it saying to myself over and over again that I was going to win, and that's what was going to happen. There's no way anybody could catch him. Amari has clinched his spot. It was crazy. I was crying. I was so happy. Something that I had worked 3.5, 4 years for. I had finally achieved my dream.
The DRL tryouts is kind of like the NFL combine of drone racing. In 2020, after years of hard work and dedication, Amari earned himself a spot on the Drone Racing League roster, and to this day is the only pilot who has won the tournament without losing a single heat. Last year, Amari placed 4th overall, 2 spots behind Alex, but still an impressive feat. And both pilots had their contracts renewed for the 2023 season of the DRL.
This is the sound that the gods will play to cut the clouds. Live rounds on the guards to strip man down. These vibes for the night while the highest rack take flight, lean sideways. We master the sky. I'm on the sound, will be season back around. No more summer bounce, let you squeeze out. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumping with our underwear out.
Welcome to PayPal Park at the DRL Alderaan World Championship. We're here for Level 1 Silicon Valley, and the racing is about to start.
Level 1 could not have gone better for Alex. Halo Walker's false start gave him a 2-second penalty. Then Gab took himself out at the west roof. On lap 2, Alex made a brilliant maneuver, passing Halo Walker, regardless of Halo's 2-second delay that, at that point, Alex already knew about. But Alex didn't just want to win from a technicality. He wanted an undisputed victory. But in the first heat of the finals, Alex started in the middle of the pack. But before long, Halo and Vanover had a devastating midair that caused them to lose time and take prop damage. This left the door wide open for Alex to take the first spot into the Golden Heat.
Alex, you punched your ticket to the Golden Heat. You let out a lot of emotion there. What are you feeling?
Oh, we were talking about this a little bit before, but it's crazy from our side. We dedicate our lives to being good at this. This is something that started out as a hobby, but through passion and tons of drive and hard work, we've got to where we are here. So to come out and capitalize on that and to make it into the Golden Heat, we're here for the main show. It just doesn't get any better than this.
In the Golden Heat, MCK hits Alex from underneath, taking MCK out and leaving Alex unharmed. Paul Nurkala explains his mistake.
MCK did big favors for Alex FPV by giving him the inside line through the Pentagame. Alex FPV had that inside line, which meant MCK was effectively underneath Alex, which exposes MCK's propellers to Alex's drone, but keeps Alex's props protected. This means that it's much more likely for MCK to lose out in a mid-air collision, and that's exactly what happens. MCK is out of the race.
Alex caught another break when Halo Walker and Vanover had a tiny midair.
This brings Alex FPV back into contention, a split second covering the 3 in this epic battle.
Any chips in the propellers not only slow the drones down, but also the pilots now have to fly an unbalanced aircraft.
Next, Alex cuts the cloud gate insanely tight and makes the pass on Halo Walker, putting himself in the lead. Alex took control of the race, dispatched all of the other 3 competitors one by one, and brings it home for the first level win of the season.
Alex FPV wins level 1.
The stars lined up perfectly for Alex that night, but not for Amari. After one of the heats, Vanover even apologized because he knew how badly Amari needed that win.
Hey, I gotta say I'm sorry about the split S. I made a mistake and I saw you and it was racist, man.
Getting taken out of a race when it's not your fault would be devastating for anyone, but Amari just couldn't seem to catch a break. When entering a split S, pilots have to enter the maneuver backwards in order to leave the gate with as much momentum as possible. The pilots can't really see each other, so crashes are really common at these gates. So many of the crashes weren't even Amari's fault, but the season started with Alex in first place and Amari in last.
Well, Alex FPV is finding his form when it matters most. Alex FPV in the lead. Can he do it? It's going to be close. Alex FPV wins level 3. They've got one final turn. There it is, the 180. Who gets it? Alex FPV brings the fun.
Alex would continue dominating the first half of the season, winning level 3, winning level 5, and getting a podium in level 6 and 8. All while Amari was hovering between 11th and 9th place in the season standings.
Who am I? You know she hooked on me. Who you not? They throw the book on me. Oh Lord. I did my time, they got me shook on me. You know I gotta come back. You know I gotta get the racks. You know I gotta get them M's.
Hello, Miami! Welcome to the Drone Racing League's Algorand World Championship race.
Levels 11, 12, and 13 were all IRL races in LoanDepot Park in Miami, Florida. At this point, Alex was sitting comfortably in 3rd place with 83 points, while Amari was down in 8th with 36 points. A 50-point difference with only 3 levels left in the season meant a podium was basically out of the question for Amari. And remember, Amari got to the league based on his simulator results, where Alex was recruited to the DRL based on how he was performing at real-life events. So on paper, the only pilots fighting for a podium at this point were Halo Walker, MCK, Alex, and Pavelos. Maybe Killian and Vanover, especially because Vanover is known for being really strong at the IRL events. But the other pilots were really just trying to better their season standings. But for some reason, Amari was just unstoppable.
No problem for the white drone of Amari. Only a couple heats left. Now it's just a left turn through the U.S. Air Force Gate. Amari can smell the victory, and he takes heat number 2. That's where it's at. No chance there, Amari. Get off me.
In level 11, Alex and Amari would both get to the golden heat.
Gap centers that our previous winner just went down, leaving Alex FPV in that number 2 position again, trying to be on the chase of MCK. Every pilot wants to be in the position of MCK, flying from the front. Oh! And MCK with an unforced error coming out of the last column. That puts Alex FPV, the red blue drone, in front. Alex FPV converts and will move on to the fight out. hell of a race, son!
I was giving it everything I had. You know me, it's bend it or win it around these parts for Alex FPV.
After 3 years in the league, Amari had never won an IRL event before.
Job, find out Amari. The Golden Heat just got crowded. One of the guys that impressed me most, making his 3rd consecutive finals, a guy that didn't do as well as we thought he would in the sim, but it looks like he's making up for it, Amari. Amari definitely has been one that has come with a new level of intensity. He has the fastest heat so far tonight. And again, I've flown with Amari a lot. He's flying at a different level.
He walked away with not only the fastest flight of the night, but also
Amari wins level 11.
that night was everything for him.
Let's go! The emotion is raw, and we can all feel it. So much goes into the preparation for these pilots. Amari has struggled, Evan, this season. We've told that story, and we're now seeing how much this win means.
Confidence is everything in drone racing.
There's a lot here that's very overwhelming, from the cameras to the lights to the people around you and your incredible opponents. How did you make sure you stayed composed?
For me, the less I'll worry about this stuff, the better off I am. I just get too nervous, my anxiety gets up.
Alex FPV, he seems a bit tepid at the moment. You can just see it in his body language. He's closed up. This typically correlates directly to his flying.
If you start flying great, you will be a major threat to everybody else on the course.
Alex FPV, I want to remind everyone, he has 3 level wins already this season. When he gets on a heater, he's as dangerous as any pilot.
You made that look like butter, and you did that ahead of some pilots people are really threatened by.
Obviously, everyone here is incredibly talented, but, you know, that heat just felt like everything clicked together.
Now, how much of an advantage will that give you?
I got to sit back and get to do the exact same thing again with no worry about crashing again. So I'm going to go out there and try to beat that time.
But if you start to slip, it's really hard to come back from.
It's crazy. It's like you have to beat me upside the head with a big old stick that says you're talented for me to realize it. It makes this weird feeling where I almost feel good when my friends do bad, and I've never... it's really weird.
Alex went from placing last in the Golden Heat for level 11 to placing last in the finals for level 12 to now struggling in the semifinals in level 13. But going into level 13, Alex thought the only way that he could lose was for Pavelos to really crush it and for him to struggle immensely. There was a 16-point difference between the two pilots, so Alex was comfortable, but after winning level 11, Amari had finally tasted what it felt like to win an IRL event, and he wanted more. But Amari still wasn't even in the top 5. In an IRL level, first place gets 25 points, while second only gets 20. And Amari was 22 points behind Alex. So Dr. Strange calculated every single outcome that could possibly come, and in every universe, Alex, Pavelos, or Vanover was getting 3rd place in the season. Every universe except one. If Alex FPV, a pilot who has been called the Michael Jordan of drone racing, placed 10th, 11th, or 12th, and Pavelos didn't get 2nd place, and Amari avoided all the mid-airs, won a heat in the semifinals, won a heat in the finals, and beat out all the other best pilots in the world in the Golden Heat. No way. There's no way that...
I
priceless right now. That is the comeback for the history books.
I started drone racing 7 years ago when I first saw my first DRL, and this moment has been the culmination of all of that. Everything just seemed to go in slow motion on the run to the finish, and I had my friend Alex cheering me on. It's such a redemptive story, honestly.
The single greatest comeback in drone racing history, a story that could break records at the box office. Gosh, I love drone racing. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like and press that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. Until next time, I'm Jordan Kyle, signing off.
Dude, you're a legend.
Dude, I don't know where you know my season.
Holy cow. Bro, you were in last place after level 1. And you podium.
I did not know it was possible for me to get third going into this level.